Hey guys, welcome back. Sports Guy Chris here today. Happy Sunday to everybody. Uh, great day today in the world of college basketball out there. We've got some big ones. Michigan and Michigan State are duking it out in the Big Ten for first place in the conference. The winner of that game today will be in the driver's seat to win the Big Ten regular season conference title. But today, I want to talk in particular about the college basketball bubble when it comes to the NCAA tournament. Bubble talk really starting to heat up now. Everybody's kind of getting down the home stretch. We're looking at between anywhere from just a couple games to maybe 4 games left for everybody on their schedule before conference tournament time. So those last few spots at the back of the bracket is getting more and more muddled with the results that we have. The bubble is going to be interesting this year. A couple of teams in particular that I would like to talk about today are Oklahoma and Alabama, and they are right smack dab in the middle of the bubble. I have one of those teams being one of the last teams in, and I have one of those teams being the first team out currently at the moment. But I'm going to start with Oklahoma. The Sooners are a really interesting case. They were last year too. They got off to a horrible start in Big 12 play. They had a real great non-conference schedule. They had one of the best players in the country last year. With that in their back pocket, you almost thought, all right, the Sooners are going to get in the tournament no matter what. They won a couple of games at the end, got their conference record looking a little better, and were easily in the NCAA tournament last year. This year, this Oklahoma team is a lot different, than that one. First of all, they don't have a legit, big time scorer like they had last year. So, that's kind of one mark going against them. No big marquee player. But anyway, when you look at Oklahoma, it's a very interesting resume that they put together. First of all, the Sooners had a phenomenal non-conference schedule. They went, let's see, Oklahoma went 12-1 in their non-conference schedule. And included in their non-conference wins, they have a win over Florida, who would be in the tournament right now. The Gators are on a roll. They've actually played themselves out of one of the last four into, in my opinion, comfortably, and I have them as a 10 seed right now. They also have a win over Wofford. Wofford is, they would be a single-digit seed right now with the way the Terriers are playing. They got a big conference win over Furman yesterday, who is a quality opponent, no doubt. So that's a big non-conference win, believe it or not, even though it's against Wofford. And then they have a win over Dayton as well. Dayton has played themselves into the bubble conversation over the last week or two as well. So a couple non-conference wins there that are really helping out the Sooners. In addition, they have other non-conference wins over Wichita State, Creighton, USC, and Northwestern. Those first two in any other given year, especially, would definitely be weighing heavier for the Sooners. Wichita State's down this year. Creighton is, about a 500 team. They haven't done enough. They won't get in the tournament. USC, unfortunately, is playing in the Pac-12. Pac-12 just doesn't have much going. And, Northwestern taking a step back after a couple really good years. Nonetheless, all quality opponents, so Oklahoma has that in their back pocket as well. Their one non-conference loss was a blowout to Wisconsin. They lost that game by 20. But where it gets real interesting for the Sooners, you look at all that and you say, okay, that's a pretty good non-conference. That would be really good, definitely in the tournament. And then you look at what they've done in conference play, where they actually have their two worst losses of the season. They lost at West Virginia 79-71. West Virginia is in last place, and they are really, really having a down year. That's a bad loss, no matter how you cut it. And they lost at home against Baylor by 30 points. They were blown out 77-47. Granted, Baylor has played better as the season went on, and the Bears are probably in single-digit seed territory right now, maybe looking at a 9 seed. You look at the teams that they have beat, their 5 conference wins. Oklahoma's just 5-9 in the Big 12. Their 5 conference wins, a sweep over Oklahoma State, who is in second to last place. They are not good. They have a sweep over TCU, who is a fellow bubble team right now. TCU would be an 11 seed, but they have a lot of work to do. TCU could fall out of the field, and then those 2 wins really aren't helping Oklahoma too much. And they have 1 win with Texas coming yesterday. Texas, of course, has one of their star players suspended for the rest of the year. So it'll be an uphill road for the Longhorns as well. Texas could very easily fall out of the field as well. The Longhorns are just 15-12 overall and 7-7 in conference play, but they have some really, really impressive non-conference wins to boast. So, Texas hanging in there. But so you look at Oklahoma and you say, okay, what do you do with the Sooners? Their best win on the entire season, you would have to consider probably that Florida win right now. Considering the Gators are maybe a 10 seed, they still need to do more. They don't really have any quality wins yet within conference. Like I said, TCU is just 6-8 in the Big 12 themselves. So, the Sooners need to take advantage of their closing schedule. They're at Iowa State, who definitely is going to make the tournament. They host West Virginia. They cannot lose that game. You cannot get swept by last place West Virginia. They host Kansas after that. The Jayhawks were absolutely crushed by Texas Tech on the road yesterday. And then they finished the season at Kansas State, who was 21-6. This is where either Oklahoma is going to get in the tournament or they're not. They need to win at least probably 2, if not 3 of those games, with one of them being against West Virginia. They can't lose that game. So with Oklahoma's case right now, they just don't have enough to be in the field. You got to get at least one kind of marquee win against somebody. The Florida win looks better than it did 2 weeks ago. But they need to get a win against somebody in conference play. They need to win either against Iowa State, Kansas, or Kansas State, and preferably win 2 out of the 3. That would get them definitely into the field. So Oklahoma, a lot of work to do yet, despite everybody seemingly being very high on the Sooners. You still need to get a marquee win somewhere over somebody. And now we'll take a look at the Crimson Tide. So Alabama. They are 7-7 in the SEC conference and 16-11 overall. Alabama, a couple of good non-conference wins against mid-majors. They have a win over Liberty and a win over Murray State. Liberty and Murray State are currently tied right now atop the Missouri Valley Conference. Both would be in the tournament if it started today, and they have a win over Arizona as well. Arizona would not be in the tournament, but it is still a quality win at the moment. Within conference play, Alabama's got a win over Mississippi State, Ole Miss, they would both be in the field, and then a big home win over Kentucky, of course, that continues to look better and better. There is your marquee win for Alabama. Mississippi State could be considered one as well. The Bulldogs are really just outside of the top 25. They're a pretty good team as well. So when you look within conference play, at least, Alabama has certainly done more than Oklahoma within their respective conferences. So the problem with the Crimson Tide, they have 2 non-conference losses that are bad losses. They lost to Northeastern 68-52. Ugh. And they lost to Georgia State 83-80. Georgia State at least is contending, for their conference crown. So, but those are 2 bad losses for the Crimson Tide. So you look at that and you say, okay, what do you do with Alabama? Right now, I have the Crimson Tide as the second to last team in the field at the moment. That win over Kentucky is big, but the win over Mississippi State and Ole Miss within conference play certainly helps. The one knock on them within conference play, they've lost. They were swept by Texas A&M, and the Aggies are just 12-14 on the season. So that is not helping as well. What it all adds up to is both the Crimson Tide and Oklahoma have very interesting cases to be made as far as their overall resume. They both have some work to do right now. I prefer Davidson. In my opinion, Davidson would be the last team in. Belmont is still in there in that last 4 in category. They're 14-2 overall, 23-4. Or 14-2 in their conference play, 23-4 overall. Like them. And you've got Ohio State still in the last 4 in category as well. The Buckeyes are 7-9 in the Big Ten, 17-10 overall. They still have some work to do as well. So looking at some teams that are just outside that are, to keep an eye on. Clemson is lingering. They're 6-8 in the ACC, 16-11 overall. The Tigers I have them in first 4 out territory. They would be very close to getting in as well. And then you've got Utah State, who continues to win out in the Mountain West Conference. They're now 12-3 in conference play, 22-6 overall. Keep an eye on the Aggies. They are, I have them in just the next four out territory, but they very easily could move up a couple spots as well. So Utah State, an interesting team. RPI of 44, which is very solid, but not a ton of marquee wins. They have a big one coming up with Nevada. Going to want to win that game to take advantage of that. So there's the bubble situation as it sits today. Happy Sunday, everybody. Enjoy the games out there today. And I would love to hear your thoughts on Oklahoma and Alabama and who you like. Do these teams belong in the tournament right now if it started today? Do they need to do more? Does the conference record even matter? I've heard a lot of pundits out there say, oh, each team is evaluated solely on who they beat and all this other stuff. That is true, but I think teams need to be evaluated on who they lose to as well. So, that needs to be part of the equation. So I'd love to hear your thoughts. Thanks for checking out today's video. As always, get on Scorum, check it out. Everybody have a great Sunday. Enjoy your day. And I will be back soon with another video assessing the NCAA tournament field college basketball. All right, everybody, have a great day.